Fawn, and I just want to take a few minutes to tell you about one of our impact trips. I get to have the honor of leading a trip to a country that is very near and dear to my heart. We will be taking a very small team to a country in Central Asia, and on this trip we'll be doing prayer walking. We will be encouraging the team that is already on the ground there, and we will also be speaking English to people that are learning English in different kinds of settings. My family, we were able to live in this country not too long ago, and truly this country has captivated our hearts, and I am just so excited to get to go back, and I would love to invite you to go with us. This country is 99.9% Muslim, and there are very few known believers in the country itself. When our family got there in 2011, there were no known believers in this country or in this city at all. Today, there is a small group of believers that are meeting each week and being discipled, and every week there are new faces that are coming into that group, either seeking or curious or even just wanting to read scripture together and know more about who God is. And so it's a very exciting time for this little body, this little bitty church that is beginning to form in this city. And a lot of times people will say, when it talks about a prayer walking team, they'll be like, oh, I don't want to go do that. I don't want to just go prayer walking. That's not really working. Well, I just want to tell you a couple of real important stories when it comes to prayer walking that hopefully will change your view on that. The first story is before we ever had workers in the city that our team is living in now. Teams from the river would go periodically every 3 to 6 months, and they would prayer walk the streets of this city because this city is very strategic in reaching this country. They would go and they prayer walk these the streets, and one particular task they were given at one point, it was about a year before we all moved into this city, they were asked to prayer walk and ask the Lord, where would you want families to live in this city of about 200,000 people? So they walked and they prayed, and they actually had a map, and so they circled on a map where they felt like the Lord said this would be a great place for a family to live. So fast forward, about a year later, we move into this city, and we're getting settled in. Our teammates had been there a few months before we had, and we found that map and we pull it out. And as we pull that map out and look at it, one apartment, our teammate's apartment, was on the very street that a prior team had prayed and felt like the Lord said someone needs to live here. Our apartment was a block from where a team felt that we should live. And so again, very strategic in where we were doing life for that first year that we were there. And that all happened because people were praying. Fast forward a little bit longer, we're getting more and more settled in, probably about a month into our time there in 2011, and we were strongly encouraged to put our kids in national school. I did not want to do this. I was so scared about this possibility, but we were encouraged they needed to learn language and they needed to learn culture. And so we began the process of interviewing different schools and going and asking where would be the best fit for our kids to go to school. And one particular, it was one of the last schools that we thought we might have a chance and we might feel good about. And they just looked us in the face and said, we don't really want foreigners here, but there's this other school up the street here, up the, a few blocks away. Go talk to them. They have a principal that speaks English, and I think they might be receptive to you. Okay, great. At this point, we thought all doors had shut, and I was not feeling good about anything at this point. We literally walked into this school, and it was like someone had turned not just spiritual light on, but physical light. It was like there was light in this place. And we enrolled our kids in that school. They were amazing to our kids. They thrived there. They learned language there. They learned culture, everything that we had hoped this school provided for our kids. And it was such a blessing. It was like God opened up the heavens, or literally, and just gave us this blessing of a school. Fast forward maybe 6 months to a year, another team from the river comes and is prayer walking, and we're walking the streets with these guys. And this one particular guy said he'd been on a few trips to our city prayer walking before, and he said, hey, I know this street. We walked this street before. I've prayed on this street, and we're going to come up here to school. And I said, yeah. And he said, I stopped at this school up here, and I remember praying for the kids and the families of the kids at that school. It makes me tear up thinking about it. And even thinking that maybe someday some of our kids from the river would be going to this school. And I said, you're kidding me. I said, no, you've got it confused with some other school. And he said, no, I promise. I know exactly. He was telling me landmarks that he remembered. Sure enough, a block away was our school that our kids were at. And so that was a place that our kids found a place to fit in. And it's the school that the kids that are there are still going to. And so God showed favor through those prayers. God moved mountains for the team that's there in those prayers. And so I just want to share those stories to encourage you to say it is not just prayer walking. It truly is pushing back the darkness and moving mountains for people that are on the ground doing the work. And so to all you that have gone before, thank you. For all you that are coming with me, It's going to be a blast, and we are going to do things that you could never imagine and you may never even know, because God is at work in this place. And I would love for you to join me. If it's something you would like to be a part of, I'll be out in the lobby after both services today, and you can ask me any questions about that. If you know you want to come on this trip right now, no questions asked, I'm in, sign me up. Go to impact.therivercc.com and sign up there. Also, under the app, there's a place that has all of our trips listed that has this logo behind me. You can just hit that button and that'll take you to all the trips and give you more information there. So again, I'd love to have you, and I look forward to what the Lord's going to do.